Hello, good evening and welcome to the build-up show from the LFC Daytrippers for Liverpool versus Chelsea. I'm your host, Keith Plunker, and tonight I'm joined by, on the other side of the hosting chair for a change, it's Gav Doyle. Gav, how are you?
I'm great.
Looking fresh.
Yeah, haircut, shave, shower, everything in preparation for this show. So that's the commitment I have to you, to Mick, to Grizz, to Liverpool Football Club, and to all the pyrotechnics tomorrow night.
Excellent practice in your shuffle and all, I hope, and just getting the little momentum going, the little jiggle.
I'm just picking up pint glasses around the house just to get myself ready for tomorrow, to be quite honest with you. Yeah,
it's going to be a long emotional day, you know, so we need to prepare as best we can.
Exactly.
And we're also joined by Grizz. Grizz, how are you, my man?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm not too bad. A bit of a change of scenery, location, as you can see.
Yeah.
I'm in my studio. Like, not really.
Sounding quite husky there, Grizz. Must be the acoustic.
Not really. I'm in a cupboard, but it's okay.
Oh, well, you know,
you can't tell otherwise.
No, not at all. And we're delighted to be joined by Mick from the Kopite Podcast. Mick, how are you?
I'm not too bad, mate. Yourself?
Living the dream, pal. Living the dream. We're getting closer to trophy lift day. You know, I think if we can't all be happy about that, when can we be happy?
Exactly. You need to go and live in a cupboard with like Grizz if you're not happy with this Liverpool team at the moment.
There you go.
It's not a bad shot as well.
There's enough of them out there. But, you know, Gav, it is getting that bit closer. I mean, I don't want to say the match tomorrow night is irrelevant, but it's all about the after show, isn't it?
A little bit, yeah. But I was doing a 5-minute roundup show today that lasted 11 minutes, and we'll try our best to get that close to 5 at some stage.
Never going to happen.
Never going to happen, because me and Keith talk way too much, and 5 minutes is never enough. But yeah, it is all about what happens afterwards. But then when you look at it, Keith, Liverpool have a chance to go unbeaten again during the season at home, and have a chance to drop only 2 points at home in the league season if it were a win. And Chelsea can guarantee Champions League football with a win tomorrow night. So yeah, I know where you're coming from. Tomorrow after the game is where we're all kind of looking for, you know, whatever it is, 10, 15 tomorrow night. But there's a bit of business to be done on the pitch, and you know, a lot of people make out a lot about points totals and invincible stuff, and I don't know, City are now their next target is 100 league goals or something like that. So yeah, there's a little bit to be done on the pitch as well, and it might have a bearing on the way people look at Liverpool's season, you know, because we're ending it with a whimper, apparently.
Yeah, apparently is right. Mick, as Gav touched on there, some people think we're ending the season with a whimper. How are you finding it? Do you agree with Gav that, you know, while it is, our form hasn't been great since we've confirmed champs, that this game might have a little bit of spice about it?
I think it will. Obviously, through the history of Liverpool-Chelsea games, there's always been a bit of spice in there. I think because the fact that we won the league with 7 games to go, it's been a bit difficult to G ourselves up for these games. And obviously, this whole beating the 100-point Centurions and beating this Man City team on points total record was a target, I'm sure, for Klopp behind the scenes. We probably wanted that to happen, but it didn't happen. You've seen Graham Souness on Sky Sports talking about, obviously, back when he was winning titles with Liverpool. It doesn't matter. Once the league title's over, the games after, it doesn't matter how much you G yourself up. It's difficult to replicate that type of feeling going into a game of a must-win. But yeah, it's been difficult to watch now and again. Obviously the Arsenal game, but then you've got flickers of brilliance. The Crystal Palace game. I think we're going to need a Crystal Palace of proportion of that game against Chelsea, because they're very, very, very good, and they've got some very good players. So it would be nice to beat them tomorrow, and then obviously the crown and glory, lifting that trophy with Jordan Henderson.
Indeed. And Grizz, would you have the same opinion as the lads there? You know, it's going to be a tough game. We know Chelsea, they'll have a lot to go for. And they're on the back of a good win against United in the Cup there as well. So we can't take them too lightly, even though we all are looking forward to the party afterwards. We can't take Chelsea on the pitch too lightly.
Do you know, after Klopp's press conference today, I'm not too sure. I'm really not too sure if we're going to take it that seriously. I mean, he was in such a light-hearted mood. But if there's a game, if there's a team that sort of gets us going, it's Chelsea. And I think that will work in our favour in terms of we will be up for it. We will want to go out in a bang. And the fact that Chelsea have got, I think, still got a lot to play for. I don't think they're 100% confirmed for top four, are they? So they'll need a result and they'll be at it. And then when other teams are at it, we're at it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like we've lost a couple of games where teams didn't have nothing to play for. It was just like the Arsenal one. They didn't have much to play for. Burnley didn't have much to play for. But, you know, our last competitive game where we needed a result was Chelsea. Beg your pardon, Palace. And I thought it was a superb performance. I actually thought we played brilliantly against Burnley as well in the first half. I don't think it's as bad as a result. It wasn't as bad as a performance as some made out. I thought we should have been 3-4 clear. So, yeah, I mean, even, you know, but it's so hard. They're human. It's emotions. It's the culmination of 30 years. Well, not these players, but you know what I mean? The pressure of 30 years and the mental pressures that they've had to deal with, you know, they're bound to have sort of just literally get this 90 minutes over and done with, you know, that will be in the back of their heads. But we've got the man to motivate them. And I think we've got a team in Chelsea in opposition that should motivate us as well.
Indeed. There's a comment there with Chris on the screen about Chelsea's official Twitter account tweeting the Demba Ba goal, that being the team talk. And, you know, it's all a bit of banter really, isn't it? But it's a ghost being laid to rest. And I think that might be something that tomorrow night, you know, we can hopefully put that one to bed. You know, I know they showed the Istanbul game was on the telly and Shawnee Lawson was saying it doesn't hurt them anymore. And maybe this is the chance, you know, put that Demba Ba goal to bed, lift the trophy, and, you know, exercise a few ghosts. Now, Chelsea are in a nice bit of form and they've a good little team there. Frank Lampard's doing a great job. He's doing no better than Sarri did last year, but for some reason he's doing a great job. But they are a dangerous team. They've integrated a lot of younger players into their squad and they are going to have threats all over the park. Is there anyone that stands out particularly for you, Gav, to be wary of on the Chelsea side?
I'm just wondering, is that Demba Ba goal the last Chelsea win at Anfield in the league? And maybe that's why they're posting it. They're arseholes, let's be honest about it. Yeah, they have got good players. But they also have some poor players and they have players that are overrated. Pulisic seems to be coming to form. I always thought he would because, listen, he has pace and he has an eye for a goal. And if you have that in the Premier League, it'll bring you a long way. Tammy Abraham seems to have gone off the boil for them. Mason Mount seems to be coming back to the fore a little bit after losing form. But he has integrated young players. And I suppose he was hamstrung a little bit by his transfer ban or whatever it was, and he had to kind of use them. The likes of Tammy Abraham, Mason Mount, there was one or two others. There's a fella playing for him. He's about 14, Billy Gilmore or something is his name. But they are a good side. They still have some class acts in Azpilicueta, although he's approaching. I think he's well beyond his peak. But the likes of Willian that we've discussed about possibly coming to Liverpool on a free, he's still a bit of class. Giroud usually plays well against us, in fairness. But it's the back line. It's the back line you have to worry about. You know, Alonso isn't good enough. Azpilicueta has passed it. Rudiger is overrated. The goalkeeper is 75 million and he's terrible. And then you have Caballero there that's just liable to. He's basically a bald version of Simon Mignolet. He's liable to do anything.
He's like me, only smaller.
Yeah,
and I'm not tall.
And not as husky. Very true. But you know, you look at the players they're signing. You know, they have a man from Ajax coming in.
Hakim
What's
Ziyech.
Hakim Ziyech. You have Timo Werner, and then they're looking at Kai Havertz. I don't know
Yeah.
how true or untrue that is, but he seems to be going a lot of top end footballers again. You
Yeah.
know, top end of the pitch, and I don't know
It's
where it'll
unusual, isn't
go.
it?
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know where it'll go unless he's going to keep faith with what he has and maybe bring one in at the back somewhere. But I think he needs more than one. But with regards to tomorrow night's game, it all depends what Chelsea turns up. And you know, if a motivated Chelsea comes up, they'll give us a game. But then again, if a motivated Liverpool side show up, I think they wipe the floor with Chelsea.
Yeah.
They're that far ahead of them.
They are, and they're that far ahead for a reason, you know. And Mick will come to you there, as Gav touched on. They do have dangerous players. Gav has mentioned them, Willian, Giroud. They are all dangerous, more so than the younger guys, even though they've played well against us. Billy Gilmore sort of made his name in the cup game against us. And they do have threats, but it is the wily older players, isn't it? Willian and Giroud. Giroud's not a prolific goal scorer, but he's a very intelligent forward, isn't he? And he can bring the other players they have into the game, like Mount or Pulisic if he plays, you know, coming in behind them. He's good for feeding them.
Yeah, he's a good player. I've always rated him, but I think in Gomez and Van Dijk, we've got the perfect centre-backs to deal with him, because his threat is it is lumping it up to him, and he's good in the air. He's good with balls into feet, kind of like Peter Crouch was for us in a way in that regard. Go from set pieces. But with Van Dijk marking him, obviously he'll probably try and target Joe Gomez, seeing him as the weaker of the pair. But even still, Joe Gomez has probably got too much for him to majorly cause damage. Yeah, like Gav said, they've got some good players, but they do need a serious overhaul. Like Gav also said, that they are going to be a bit top heavy in terms of attackers. They do need a few defenders back there. See, like we touched on, Alonso, Rudiger, Zuma. They're all middle of the road, good players, solid players, but are they going to get you to that level where you're going to start challenging for league titles? I don't think so. Like it wasn't until we brought in Alisson and Van Dijk that we really started to truly compete. And then obviously, like Gav also touched on, Kepa in goal. He's also not good enough. It doesn't matter how much they pay for him. He's not good enough at the moment. Obviously, he might become that in the future, but on potential alone, for me, he's not good enough. But yeah, they've got some great players. Willian, obviously, he's been touted to maybe move in the summer, and he's definitely a good player. I've always rated him. Obviously, before he even went to Chelsea, we were linked with him, and I would have loved him even back then. Still a good player now. Yeah, they've got some good players, and it will be definitely a tough game. But like we said, if a motivated Liverpool turn up, like Gav said, we should definitely have too much for them. If we turn up and we want to turn it on and we want to go out with a bang, obviously we've still got another game left with Newcastle, which seems a bit irrelevant now. But if we turn it up on the day, and we should have enough to blow them away easily, and then obviously cherry on the cake, Jordan Henderson lifting that trophy on the cup.
Yeah, it's something that we're all looking forward to seeing, you know, but as we've said, we don't want to look too far ahead, Grizz. The threat is there. The lads have touched on the dodgy defence that Chelsea have. Can you see them doing any business back there in the summer? I know you're the transfer guru, so do you think Chelsea will be working on that? Because I've seen them being linked with Jan Oblak and Henderson off Man U and goal. Is that an area you think they'll look at, or will they stick with Kepa?
I think they will try to look at, but I can't see them getting Oblak. I've been discussing this with Chelsea lads, and I've been, obviously, you know me, I like to have a little bit of banter with opposition fans, and I was telling them, I was like, well, you know, this summer and the next window will show what Roman Abramovich really thinks of Lampard. I mean, he's had his nice, cozy sort of honeymoon period, but now that he's got to spend money, because Roman wants to spend money, he loves it. It's a buzz for him, and he's going to be bringing in top end stars like sort of the likes of Werner, Ziyech. They're probably getting Havertz as well. But I said, but is this what you guys need? And is this Roman making the decisions, or is this Lampard making the decisions? Because us four have just discussed that, all right, they're top heavy, and you know, none of us are sort of, sorry, I speak for myself, maybe you guys are, but none of us are sort of professional coaches that sort of can on the level of Lampard, and he surely can see that his team needs defensive reinforcements. And if Abramovich just carries on buying attackers, then there's a rift almost already there, as was with his other managers, because Roman likes to sort of dictate a lot. While the ban was in place, it was fine because he couldn't buy any players, so he left it to the coaches to do what they got to do. And Frank's done a decent job, I'd say. I think he's been over sort of hyped a bit, but he's done a very decent job. And I like him. I like Frank. You can tell he's a gentleman. Classless club, as you can tell from their sort of admin and the way they've gone about the Denver Go and other things. But this guy's got class. But I think it's a very important summer. They need to reinforce. They've been linked with Declan Rice as well, which is an interesting one. But
that's not going to improve them.
Well, he's probably better than what they've got. I mean, Rudiger's overrated from time. I've said it ages. Azpilicueta is probably one of my favourite Premier League defenders of recent times. But as I think Gav said, he's on his last legs. The fella's finished. It reminds me of Glenn Johnson now, and near the end of it, he's playing fullback, and he just can't run anymore. I mean, who's the other one? That the Christensen.
Yeah.
He's nothing. He's nothing special. They had a lot of hope for Tomori, but he's sort of not he's failed to get into the team after his amazing start. Zuma wants to leave. So yeah, there's definitely problems at the back. And who better, if we're motivated, than us to sort of exploit when teams have got issues at the back. But as I said, it's all about us being up for it. You could see Salah having a field day in a normal situation against Alonso, but let's see what happens. But they've, as in terms of they need to improve at the back. Oh yeah, this summer will be telling.
See, I said all this about Arsenal as well, that we'd have a field day against their defence, that they were absolute muck and we were brutal. So I'm worried that we'll fall into that trap. No,
we weren't.
No, we weren't.
We were completely dominant and decided.
Too uncharacteristic,
of vodka out of his sock during the game, and Alisson was doing the same.
I'd say we were muck against Arsenal.
I wouldn't say so. I thought we were well in control of the game, and
but that's not good
without creating too much. Without creating
too much, but as I said before, and you have to take it. Nearly every game we play now, you have to take it with a massive pinch of salt as to what way we're playing, because I guarantee you, if we'd have turned, and I keep saying it, if we'd have turned off the back of this pandemic, 7 games or 8 games to go, right, and we were 7 or 8 points clear, we'd be sitting here today on 100 points without a shadow of a doubt. No shadow of a doubt.
I think we all agree with that.
So when you look at it, you have to take everything into perspective. Against Arsenal, we were in complete control, right? And Mane scores, and we're in complete control. And we just threw 2 howlers in. And all right, we weren't the best of the second half, but it's so hard to get yourself up for things.
Yeah.
Grizz is just flinging his fucking laptop across the room there because I'm making this point. But
what an outburst!
It's just hard to get yourself up for these things. And I keep saying it. That 5% or that 10%, it's huge in a game of such fine margins, and that's where we're at. And as I said, Liverpool just turned that switch and knock it back up to 100%, and we just start slapping people around again. It's just the way it is.
Yeah, that is true. For everyone in the chat, there's a nice little number is in there. If you are on YouTube, get over there, hit that little like button. It only takes a second. These podcasts are all free, of course, but if you don't start liking them, we're just going to start charging a premium fee to listen to our dulcet tones. So hit the like button and smash that and spread the word, notification, all that sort of good stuff.
And anybody that puts in super chats, we will send someone around to have a stern word with you. We don't agree with them.
No, we're against that sort of thing.
Yeah, well, Grizz isn't, but we are.
Yeah, you can tell, yeah. The good lads aren't. Owen Book makes an interesting point in the about the Arsenal game that only Mane and Robbo were on it against them. And it's something, in the game itself, we were very focused down that left-hand side. Mick, I'll come to you. Do you think that was a plan, or was it just we could see we were getting chances there? Because usually we'd have maybe Trent or the right hand side a bit more involved, but it was very left hand focused. Did you find that was the plan, or just the way the game panned out? And is it something you can see going into this game?
Yeah, it's difficult to say. I think they probably, obviously, like you said, they started to get Joey down that side. So I think they've just kind of thought, well, we'll just keep bombing it down that side. Obviously, usually it's quite 50-50 in terms of what side we go down. But usually Trent gets a lot more of the ball. He didn't see that much of the ball on that side. Usually in that game, he was just picking it up and passing it back to Gomez, and then we were starting again on the left hand side and bombing down there again. In terms of this game, yeah, like we said, if Liverpool start turning it on and we can get at their fullbacks, obviously Alonso, for me, if Chelsea are serious about winning Premier League titles, for me he's not good enough. So he's definitely. I mean, in terms of going forward, he's great. He's got a boss like foot on him. He's got a good crossing. In terms of defensively, Trent can really get at him, and obviously Trent Salah down that side could cause a whole case of havoc for him. But yeah, I think in regards to the Arsenal game, I think because we were getting Joey down that left hand side, and because obviously I think Arsenal are a bit stronger down there left. Obviously they've got the Saka who's got a lot of pace. I think we've probably seen that as a means to not go down that side as much. Obviously Trent's quick, but he's not blessed with blistering speed to maybe go past the likes of a Saka and whip a ball in. So I think that's why we went down the left hand side with Robbo and Mane, and we were getting that joy. So hopefully we can do the same against Chelsea. Obviously, as Azpilicueta, as good as a defender he is, I've always rated him. He's one, like Grizz said, he's one of the best the Premier League's ever seen in terms of full-back, and obviously he's played centre-back as well a couple of times and done a good job there for Chelsea. So I think Robbo and Mane up against an agent as Azpilicueta, he could have a field day if they're on the ball, and if Azpilicueta has a 7 out of 10 game. But yeah, in terms of that, I think obviously full-backs is what we're known for and what we're so great at. So they'll be wary of that, and obviously they'll be trying to stifle that as much as they can. But I think like I said, if we turn it on, we should have too much going forward for them.
Yeah. Grizz, can you see Chelsea changing it up a bit and going to a back three and sticking Azpilicueta maybe on the right hand side of a back three and throwing in Reece James there just to nullify, because teams have had a bit of joy against us when they've sort of done that. Do you think it's something Frank will look at?
I think they will make changes. I think definitely the fixture list hasn't sort of the pile-up hasn't been too kind to them, because sort of with them playing Sunday, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, the squad is decent enough to make a few changes. He has rotated in terms of sort of positionally wise as well. I think Azpilicueta's probably not had the brilliant season. One of the reasons is because Laddie played him every single position across the back line. So yeah, I can see that happening. Reece James, another one of their lads who they've tried to compare sort of foolishly to Trent. I don't know about you, but I don't see nothing special about the lad. All right, he's got physicality about him, but he's not a patch on our Trent, sort of technically or on the ball. So yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know if you lads can sort of educate me. One of the very rare occasions.
We'll do our best, Grizz. We'll do our best.
If you can educate, I don't know what's the situation with them in terms of top four. What do they need? Like in terms
win
of
tomorrow night secures it.
Right, but a point will do them nice, right?
Well, I'll tell you now exactly how it stands.
Man U play Leicester on the last day, don't they? So
yeah, well, you see, at the moment Chelsea are on 36 games, Leicester are on 37. Chelsea are a point clear of Leicester, so a win tomorrow night will put them 4 points clear of Leicester.
Yeah.
With
job done.
With a game left, so it would guarantee them Champions League, because obviously United win, they go 65 points, and Leicester and United play each other on the last day of the season. So
yeah. Well, listen, forget what they do. As we said, look, their man in form has been Willian. He always has a good game against us. And Giroud, who does normally have a good game against us, but this is pre-VVD days. Since we've had VVD, he must hate playing against us, because you just can't bully VVD. And if they play Tammy Abraham, which they may do, you can't outrun Gomez. So look, whoever they stick up front will be focused tomorrow at the back, I think. It's midfield where we're going to I think it's midfield where we win it. We've got the stronger players in midfield physically. They're good technically, But as West Ham, funnily enough, showed, you get amongst them and they don't like it. And if we get amongst them in the midfield and control the midfield, and then we know our front three, we can terrorize their backline, whether it's a 4 or 5. Most likely it'll probably be a 5. But I'm pretty confident because of the fact that, as I said, Chelsea will be motivated, and we like a team that's motivated when it comes to play against us. And if they need a win to be sort of totally clear, then they'll come and attack us, and we're the best team to pick them off.
Dylan O'Rourke, a bit of sauce there in the comments.
I like that.
Will Chelsea have Willie in or out?
Well, he does say Caballero afterwards, but I didn't want to put that up on the screen. So, see what happens.
But it's a good point. Is Caballero going to play in goal, Gav, do you think, or will it be Kepa?
I have a feeling it'll be Kepa. When I seen Caballero in goal in the FA Cup, I thought he must be his FA Cup goalkeeper, and he has an agreement with him that he gets those games regardless of how far they go. I don't know if that's true, but that's the impression I got when I seen the lineup. I think he has to play Kepa.
He'll definitely be Kepa.
You see, he has this guy's 70 odd million quid of a goalkeeper, isn't he? 71, 72 million or something.
Yeah, it's more, isn't it? 70, 78 or
something. It's something in around that. We won't
scandalous
split hairs on a couple of million, but he has to play him. It's the same way Manchester United have to keep playing David De Gea, despite him. I don't know if he's just completely shot of confidence, has no confidence in his defence, or has just decided he doesn't want to play anymore. He has to play him, A, to try play him into form, and the price tag starts to justify itself or look less horrendous, or B, you go, no, this fella's head is completely and utterly gone, and we need to get rid and make a decision on that. So I think he will play Kepa. I like the guy at right back,
Reece James.
Yeah, I like him because I think he'd suit Chelsea's way of playing an awful lot. He mightn't be the best going forward. He might, if he's good defensively and he's solid. That's probably what Chelsea need, looking and judging by the sort of players they're trying to bring in. And if they're gonna go as top heavy as we think they are with those sort of signings, I think he'll work well. But I agree on Alonso. I agree on most of the centre halves. But yeah, no, I'm just going back to Kepa. He's horrendous, and he has.
I'd rather we said this after tomorah.
No, he is. It doesn't matter what happens tomorrow. Well,
it doesn't matter. Yeah,
we might as well not fucking preview a show because you're afraid to say anything. But but the thing is, like,
fair enough. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
He is horrendous, right? But the thing is, you just have to keep playing him, Keith. You have to see. Yeah. You nearly have. You know the way you get managers and they go, I need more players, and then they start naming 4 fellas on the bench instead of 7 to try prove a point. Lampard's probably doing that with Kepa now, going, I'm just going to keep playing this fella. And then when I go back in the summer and go, listen, I need a goalkeeper. He has all the evidence in front of him. You know what I mean? But he's he's not good, and it's a massive mistake by Chelsea in the transfer market, to be honest with you.
It is indeed. I don't know if any of you seen Stevie busting my onions again in the chat tonight. I like it. That's all right. That's allowed. Little dig at me blade and down, but here, we won't fall out. I won't get upset. I've spoken to me psychiatrist and therapist. He says don't get upset over it, so we'll move on. Grizz, did you see that Alfonso Areola and his wife bought a house in London and had it on their Instagram today?
Oh, no, that one slipped me. I'm not on Instagram, not going to lie.
I've seen it on something else, but I've seen it on something else came up that they posted it. So they bought a house in London. Might be an interesting one. Maybe Chelsea are looking at getting a new keeper and they're going for a cheaper alternative, because to spend 75 million on Kepa and then throw 100 million at someone like Oblak is a lot of money.
No, they're not going to prize away Oblak, but that makes sense. Because from speaking to Chelsea guys, they seem to think that Frank was kind of forced to play Kepa. He did bring his Willie in. I said it, but he did bring in Willie for a few games, and but then apparently there was. Why are you laughing? What's that? Who said?
I don't know why you just don't say Caballero.
Yeah. It's kind of, it's the in thing, isn't it? Call him Willie.
the in thing. It's 5 minutes ago.
And plus,
Started.
plus he looks a bit like Keith as well. But
A handsome man, some might say, a handsome man.
Oh yeah. But you know, Areola makes sense. He's not going to get a game at PSG, is he? So that kind of makes sense. If that was the case, and he's bought property in London, and Chelsea are desperate for a keeper. In fact, they were linked with Ben Foster again, I think. Yeah, as well. Yeah. So yeah, that would make sense for them. I mean, I agree with Gav. I mean, even though I was at the FA Cup game and he fucking had a blinder, he literally saved everything we threw at him, and I was just, you know, I was distraught seeing him. There was a couple in the first half where he saved, and we were right behind it. We were like, oh, that's a goal, and he's just pulled off some miraculous saves. But overall, he doesn't inspire you with confidence. He's very, you know, like how Mignolet used to do some ridiculous saves, but overall we were shitting our brick all the time, most of the time. That's what Kepa is. He's you know, he's prone to make the odd amazing save, and you think, wow, this guy's worth 70 million. But then you see the rest of his all-round game and his keeping, and it's awful. Yeah.
Dylan puts a nice comment in there. If they have Willie and Areola as keepers next year, they'd love that. Don't know if anyone catches on to the old Areola, and we have to explain it to Grizz in a text message, but it's a nice one. Oh, Grizz got a comment there. Nice head from Phil Casey. So, you know, that's Grizz's night has been made. Mick, it is going to be tough, but do you see Liverpool going strong in this game, or can you see any? I won't get to lineups yet. We'll leave that for a few minutes. But do you think we'll approach it with our strongest mentality? Maybe one or two changes could come in, but do you think we'll go strong at this, or are you thinking the foot won't be fully on the gas? As Grizz said, Klopp's press conference wasn't like he was too concerned. How do you think it'll go?
I think he'll go as strong as he can. I think pretty much when I've been doing podcasts recently, it's the only bone of contention is the midfield three usually. I could see maybe Gini getting rested and Keita coming in. Keita's done really well when he started, and even when he's come off the bench recently, he's been wanting to get on the ball, driving us forward, them incisive passes in the final third that he's so great at carrying the ball forward as well. Jordan, his last game, didn't set the world on fire. I could see obviously Fabinho, Keita, and then I don't know. I was thinking about maybe throwing a Curtis Jones in there, but it might not be the perfect game for him. Obviously, he's just signed a new contract and he's had a few appearances here and there. But I think we'll go pretty strong. I'll be surprised if he, for example, throws a Necho Williams in like he did a couple of games ago. I think he will go pretty much strong, and then obviously Keita, Fabinho, and then one other in there, and pretty much go as strong as we can. Because like we said, Chelsea need points at the moment, so they're going to be up for it because they want to be in Champions League next year. So I can imagine Klopp wants to obviously try and play that down and obviously play our strongest team, try and blow them away as early as we can, get a couple of goals as early as we can, and go from there.
I think you're spot on there, Mick, and I'll come to the two lads as well now. The only real doubts are the midfield, isn't it? I can't see any, as Mick said, like Nico Williams has come in games, but I don't think he's going to bring him in this game and be up against someone like a Willian or something. You know, he'd be absolutely marmaladed if he's playing a player like that. But the midfield is where I think the changes will be. Gav, do you think, like Mick says, it'll be Fabinho? What way do you see it being? Do you think it'll be Fabinho, Keita, Gini, or could Millie come back for this one?
Well, we all kind of thought it'd be Fabinho, Wijnaldum, Keita, didn't we, against Burnley,
Arsenal.
wasn't it? Well, Burnley anyway. I remember Burnley, and I remember talking about Arsenal that Keita will definitely play, but Keita didn't. It's like Grizz said at the start of this podcast that, you know, Klopp has looked very relaxed in his press conference, very happy, smiley, and he was. I watched it. He was very upbeat from the start to the end. You know, nothing was getting him down. And you know, I said a while back that I didn't think he was too bothered about the points records or something like that. But I think the home record might be a little bit different. And for that reason, I think he's going to go as strong as he possibly can. He may change it up against Newcastle because the last game of the season, and who cares? All the fanfare will be over by then. it'll be the normal back four. It'll be the goalkeeper. I think it'll be Fabinho, Wijnaldum, Keita. I genuinely do. I think Keita has been decent when he's played. Now, you'll get people online telling you he's the best midfielder on the planet. On what evidence, I don't know. But he has looked a little bit more of a spark in him than the others at times. In particular, Wijnaldum. I think Wijnaldum struggled a little bit since he came back. But again, he's had a brilliant season, so who cares? But I think it will be them three, and I think it'll be the front three as normal because, you know, it's a big game. It is a big game. And it's the last game at home of the season. We've dropped 2 points all season, which was our last home game. And I think Klopp would like to finish off the season saying, yeah, 18 wins and a draw, or, whatever, 17 wins and 2 draws if it turns it that way, but not a defeat. So I think he'll go as strong as he possibly can. And that'd be the midfield I'd go with. Just once it's not Keita and Oxlade-Chamberlain together, which is an absolute disaster.
Yeah. Kev O'Sullivan puts a good point in there. He thinks Bobby sits on Jorginho and Mane and Salah need to go in as a front two. Grizz, do you see that as something that'll happen? Because Chelsea will look to put through. I know there's a lot of questions about whether he'll be staying at Chelsea, but Jorginho really is the playmaker in that midfield. He starts the attacks. Can you see Bobby sitting on him?
More so if it was an away game. That will be the tactic we usually employ, because you say Jorginho is their playmaker, but their best form is coincided with him out of the team.
I was going to say, is he playing a lot for them?
Yeah, well, he's playing tomorrow because Kante is out.
Yeah.
And that's a massive
Kante usually only plays against us.
Kante broke his leg yesterday, but he'll be playing against us tomorrow.
Yeah, but it's he's definitely out tomorrow. So Jorginho will come in. I don't rate the guy in this league.
I'm glad.
What I mean by that, yeah, I don't. This league's too fast for him. I would compare him to one of our stars, but then the fanboys will be out to get me. So, but he reminds me a lot of Xabi Alonso for us, in terms of technically beautiful, can dictate a game if allowed to. Not quick at all. Doesn't cover ground quickly. Very intelligent. So he's got a lot of traits Xavi had, and I don't think he's made for this league. But I don't think we'll concentrate too much on him in terms of Bobby sort of man marking while out of possession, because I think Bobby's on a mission tomorrow, and we all know what mission that is. I think Bobby, any penalties, I'm not sure if Mo can catch the golden boot unless he gets a hat trick tomorrow and sort of hat trick in the last
5 off at this stage.
Yeah, exactly. So I think we don't concentrate on Jorginho too much. I think Bobby needs to get in and around the box as much as possible and get this monkey off his back, man, and fucking get a goal. Any penalty or anything, I'd skip to Bobby, man. Fuck it. But in terms of our selection, it's going to be full strength. The strongest team at the moment is with Fabinho, Keita, and Ginny in midfield. And I think all the changes, all the kids turn up at Newcastle. That's where we just give everyone a nice little run out. But tomorrow's not the game. You got to remember, the world's eyes are going to be on this game tomorrow. Every media outlet, everything, you name it. So people are going to want to end us, and people are going to want to see what the fuss is about with this Liverpool team. Some have been sort of non-Liverpool fans have been saying, "Oh, did they really? Is this really your Liverpool team that sort of stormed the Barclays Premier?" Because you got to remember, a lot of the leagues are dead and buried, and everyone's sort of seeing, how did normally the Premier League's very tight, and everyone's thinking, how the F has one team smashed it by 20 points? Like, this must be some superhuman team tomorrow. So yeah, a lot of people will want to see what it's about, and I think we'll be up for it. I think you've got me excited now. I wasn't really excited about the game. I was like all about the presentation, but I think we're going to put on a show tomorrow.
Shawnee Lawson, as usual, puts a good point in the chat there about Kovacic as well being probably their best player this season, and he has been excellent in midfield. So I can't see us, throwing in a Curtis Jones at this stage of his development. I think Newcastle will see him getting a run out, just because I think Chelsea will go strong. And I think if we look at our midfield and we go with a Keita, Wijnaldum and Fabinho 3 in there, it can go up against the Chelsea lads, and it could probably push on, you know, put Naby in around Jorginho maybe to put pressure on his touch and
I'd love it.
Make him speed up a bit.
This is one of those games I wish Hendo was playing, because the midfield they're going to probably play out is going to be sort of Barkley, Kovacic, and Jorginho, and they love playing football and they love passing it from the back, and we love teams like that. We absolutely.
I don't think that's what they'll do.
Well, yet to be seen. I'm not often wrong, so we'll keep an eye on that. We'll keep an eye on that. We'll keep an eye on that. But we love that kind of setup from a midfield where they're trying to play from the back in triangles. You know, we love eating interception, and then that's it. Well, I love eating, but I'm sure they like eating up as well. Possession, you know, catching teams trying to play from the back and then attacking their back four or three, wherever the case may be. So, yeah, I don't think their midfield will be much to shout about tomorrow either way. I think we dominate in midfield.
Before we go on, Grizz, Avo's put a comment in there. What's the defender from Leipzig that we're being linked with? And I'm assuming he's talking about Nordi Mokiel. Have you heard anything about the links with Mokiel?
No, nothing.
Well, Mokiel he's a cracking player. He's a right back, but he's a centre back also. He's a big unit, and he's an absolute smashing player. I would love us to sign him, but I think he's linked with PSG, and I think we're probably just being used as a smokescreen to get PSG to the table for the money to start rolling.
Just because you asked about transfers, we're trying to secure an Argentinian left back. I don't know his name. I sent you the link, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
And he's
very exciting.
I've never seen him. This is your territory.
Yeah.
So, but he's the guy we want. Work permit, passport issues.
Well, I think there's more chance of me getting a work permit in Argentina than there is of this fella getting a work permit to play over here. Unfortunately, he's only played 3 games for Lanús, so I don't know if he'll qualify for a work permit, unfortunately. But he does
Diego Maradona sorted out.
If Diego can do it, Diego will do it.
If anyone can do it, Diego can do it.
If anyone can. I want to just quickly talk, just a little side step there. Gav, you mentioned about the new 5-minute update shows we're doing that will never, ever last 5 minutes. No. And you touched on a couple of points today. Curtis Jones getting the number 17 jersey being one of them. It's a big sign, isn't it, that he is going to be integrated. I know there's all the talk has been that it will be Lallana's replacement, but I think this is a sign that they are serious about pushing him up that pecking order.
Yeah, 100%. You know, he's wandering around wearing the number 65 or something at the minute. I don't know what it is.
It's an insult.
Yeah, but you can see, like, the big thing for me, Keith, with any of these players is when they're not sent out on loan.
Yeah.
You know, he's kept there. And he's obviously told, listen, you're probably going to play, you know, the League Cup. You'll get the FA Cup probably to a certain point if we get that far. And you will probably end up with 5 to 6 league games. And that's probably what he's ended up with. But they've kept him in the squad. They've kept him with the first team. He's travelling all the time. He's going to away games. He's around the squad. He's around the hotel. He's around. He's doing everything that the first team player would do, bar turning up and playing on the pitch every week. And it's brilliant for him. He's only 18 years of age. And it's a massive vote of confidence for a player of that age when he's on a decent trajectory, and you don't want you want to keep his feet on the ground, but you also want to give him something in return, and to say to him, listen, we're going to take you from whatever number jersey. And like people would think, oh, what the fuck does that matter? But it does. It's a 25-man squad in the Premier League. And I know numbers are all over the shop, but for him to come in as number 17 now, it's really, really good, and it's a nod to him for his progress. And I'll be honest with you, and Grizz knows this. I wasn't sure on Curtis Jones because I've seen him go to a couple of pre-season tournaments, and I've thought neat, tidy, maybe a little bit lightweight. Can he move the ball quick enough? Certain questions you'd have over most young players, unless they're exceptional. Like the Fowley you seen, Owen, Rooney, when he was at Everton. But in fairness to the fella, he's knuckled down. He's been given the opportunity by Klopp and the staff to be around the first team and, experience everything that and given the responsibility, because it's a massive responsibility to play with Liverpool Football Club. And he's taken it with both hands. And, Lallana's leaving on a free a free transfer. I think Lallana wouldn't get a sniff next season if he was still here under contract, because Curtis Jones is definitely above him now in the pecking order, regardless whether Lallana was here or not.
That's true, Mick. The move from Curtis Jones from, I don't know what number was he, 48 or something, I don't know what he was, up to 17. It is a significant move by Liverpool. It's a sign of trust. And someone put in the chat there, it was a few minutes ago, about possibly moving Nico and Harvey Elliott up, but I think it might be a carrot to give them for next season, to get those numbers off their back. I think one of the Sepp van den Berg and all, I think some of them are playing with 90 odd on their back. It is psychologically, it must be a big thing for the young players to get that show of faith, mustn't it? That they feel like they're part of the squad and feel like they belong.
Yeah, like I've said, it's a huge vote of confidence, like we said, going from 48 to number 17. And it's been a lot of talk on Twitter about him following Stevie G's footsteps. Obviously, he was 17 when he was a young lad coming through, but now I think he started. Was it Burnley? He started. And he done quite well. He was picking up the ball. He's not afraid to pick the ball up and run from deep. He's always demanding the ball, especially you can see with no fans in the stadium. You can hear him shouting for the ball. Give me it. He wants to get on it, turn with it, make stuff happen. It's exciting, and like I've said, there were question marks when he's going on these pre-season tours, because we've had so many false dawns with a lot of youngsters. Obviously, the most recent one I can think of is like Connor Cody, who's actually gone on to do good things, but obviously in a different position. He was defensive midfield or centre midfield for Liverpool, and there's question marks over him. He's gone on to have a good career at Wolves, but there's been so many of them. But then we've had the opposite of that with the people coming through like Gerrard and Carragher and Fowler and McManaman. So we've got a high standard, so to speak, in terms of lads coming through, and obviously Neco Williams and Harvey Elliott, like you touched on there, they're all so good, and they can be as good as they want to be, and with the Klopp in charge, they can be unbelievable. And I know on Twitter everyone's saying we need transfers, but under those three lads, Harvey Elliott, Neco Williams and Curtis Jones, they can save us an absolute fortune. When Klopp brings someone in, they always have a bedding in period, like Fabinho, Robertson, Oxlade-Chamberlain. They're out of the team for 3-4 months while they're getting up to speed with Klopp's tactics. But these lads have been in and around that dressing room. They've been in and around Klopp's ideas and thoughts. And yeah, for me, it's a no-brainer that they're so young. They're soaking up all that knowledge from the best manager in the world. For me, the best team in the world. Yeah, there's a lot of pressure on them to come in and do a great job next season. But for me, it's exciting times, and like I said, they could save us an absolute fortune. And Curtis Jones, he could be, I think he's only 19 now, isn't he? He could be absolutely tremendous. One of the best players in the league in 5-6 years for me.
It is so true. It's confidence when he's playing, and especially, as you say, the empty stadiums, you can hear him. He's calling for the ball. He's showing for the ball. He's not afraid. He doesn't go hiding, which is great to see. And I think that's the key trait for him about making it in the first team. Grizz, I know all this talk is Steven Gerrard at number 17, but I think the bigger shoes to fill is Ragnar Klavan, as Owen Burke put in the chat there, is the main number 17 that I will always hold as the standard bearer for that jersey. Never mind Stevie G. But Mick made a good point there about saving on transfer fees, and someone put in the chat there a second ago, I don't know if it was Kev, that there's no League Cup games next season, so game time will be at a premium for the young guys next season. Do you think it will be an influence on the transfer activity? Because everyone's assuming we're not going to sign anyone, and everything you read and hear from Klopp, there's a little snippet of, I suppose it depends which way you read it, but every time I'm looking at it, they're not saying they're not going to sign anyone, just that they're probably just changing how they're looking and what they're going to do, which is different than not signing someone. So do you think the emergence of these young players, and I know it's the easy way to say, like, all these young players, they may not make it. They may not be the class of 92 that United got. But do you think it could change how we look at the transfer market in a genuine way in the summer? Like, we will look to bring in one or two, but will they look to say, no, we'll give game times to the youngsters rather than just bringing in shiny new signings?
There's two ways. There's two ways every coach, but especially Klopp goes with in terms of young players. either he loans them out, and then that's a very good indicator that you won't have much of a future here, i.e. Wilson, Gruitch. There's a few others that have been loaned out. I think Randall was loaned out as well in his early days. Brewster. Excuse me. And then there's another batch that he really wants to be part of the squad, as Mick says, learning, training, because Klopp's a big believer in coaching. He calls himself a coach. He goes, look, that's why he hates transfers, because he goes, I'm a football coach. I love coaching. It's my profession. I'm a specialist in coaching. And so therefore he likes certain youngsters and the special youngsters to stick around. And I think Curtis Jones, he believes, is in that category. So I think it's a massive sign of confidence for the young lad.
Grizz, that coffin is more annoying than your bleeding smoke alarm a few weeks ago. Sorted out, will you? He's going to do it again.
Yeah, I think he's muted himself though, which is fair enough.
That's it. Gav, I want to move away again, another little segue, and it's something that we've been chatting about today, and people are getting upset. The Premier League trophy is going to be lifted on the Kop. Kenny Dalglish and his wooden cabinet are going to be getting wheeled out and handing the Premier League trophy to Jordan Henderson, who's going to come out in a wheelchair and get hopped on and do the shuffle and get lifted up by all the players. People have to hump about the music that's going to be played, because I think we all now know at this stage it's going to be Coldplay. What do you think? Discuss.
It's mad people getting upset by what song is being played, isn't it? While Liverpool are standing there collecting the title. They should just play Z-Cars. And the simple reason being, one, everybody will go, what the fuck is going on? And all the Evertonians will just go mental because we're stealing their song. And while putting them further into our shadow. But look, it's one of those things. Listen, Liverpool, you know, I've seen things like, we're spending £1 million on this. It's not. It's about 50 grand. And I think James Pearce said earlier, the cost is being split between sponsors, the Premier League, and the club. And listen, Liverpool aren't just getting Mary off reception to fucking go out and listen. Will you go and buy some fireworks, and we'll let them off at 10:30 tomorrow. A professional outfit are going to come in, aren't they, and set up stages and pyrotechnics and lights and all, and music and everything. It's all put together. Liverpool probably going, don't care what music we play, but Coldplay wouldn't be my choice. I think there's much better songs, but I'm going to be in the pub watching this. I won't care what they're playing. And at the end of the day, you won't even hear the music. You'll just be watching the players. You'll be watching the reaction. You'll be watching the trophy going up and down, but player by player. And Liverpool will be, you know, they are confirmed champions. But you'll have all the pictures and all the snippets you'll need to lash on the front of your phone and everything else come 10:30 tomorrow night.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the lads in the chat are saying there Coldplay do go well with a good firework display, a light show, and all that sort of thing. And it is a banger of a song, in fairness.
But you see, why are we discussing what song goes well with a light show?
This is the top topic of the day. Fact,
no, it's not.
The matches are relevant.
It's not.
The league is over.
Just fuck on a bit of VLO then.
I want to know. Well, that's my next question. What song do you want? Forget about Z-Cars. Give me a song. We know Grizz wants the bells are ringing. We know what you want.
I was just about to say, I couldn't give a shit, mate. I wish you was on the bagpipes and me singing the bells are ringing. I couldn't give a crap playing.
That should be.
As Gav says, everyone's focus will be, and he's made a great point. He doesn't often, but when he does, it's the special points. And what he says about the whole world, every one of us will be sort of looking at their faces and their expressions and the joy. No one's going to be giving a shit about the music in the background. We won't remember. Do any of you guys remember any of the music in the bloody Champions League game? Whatever, nothing. I don't.
Yeah, Dua Lipa in Kiev's bleeding famous now because of that.
Yeah, you're weird. But you know, most of us, like, you know,
that was when we lost.
We're going to be just sort of looking at their faces, expressions of joy and emotion, and that's all I'm going to be interested in. I'm not going to lie to you. Coldplay, I've never even probably heard of them. I don't know. It's not my field. Like,
but Grizz, aren't you a massive fan of Boyzone?
Is this the new version of Boyzone? Like from my
No,
time.
but you're a big fan of Boyzone, aren't you?
Yeah, I was.
We
back
could have
in
got the
day,
club
yeah.
to do something with Boyzone if we'd have known this, because I'm
I
sure
was.
they're available.
For
I
about
mean,
£8.
as cringe, whatever anyone says about Boyzone, they did make some good tunes. Don't ask me to remember any right now, but I
Yeah.
do recall them making some good tunes. But this was going back a few years.
Do you like The Bells Are Ringing because Boyzone done a cover of it? Is that why you like
Did they
that?
really? That's where
Or
I must have
Ronan
fucking
Keating
got it
done
from.
it?
Ronan Keating
Did
did,
he?
yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
connection then.
Because I knew when you were singing it, Grizz, you weren't singing it in the right key, and that threw me off at the tin whistle. So I think we've got to the bottom of that.
Yeah.
It's fluid.
Mick clearly,
you can sing it in many
It is
styles.
clearly hasn't seen this podcast and what I was talking about. And was
The
wondering,
Bells
what
Are
the
Ringing,
fuck
Mick, is
going
the
on?
fairy tale in New York, but Grizz knows it as The Bells Are Ringing. So, you know, we had a
There's a
sing
line
song
in it
about
that
it
says
a couple of weeks
you know,
ago.
A live
They
sing
stood
song
out.
to finish out a show.
But Mick, I'm going to come to you. What song do you want to hear played, or does it not bother you in the slightest?
I honestly don't care. And it's to me, like I think someone put like a bit of Oasis "Stop Crying Your Heart Out" on a video.
Yeah,
where
that would have been good.
I just
A little bit snide.
Yeah, I went on my video editor and threw a bit of "Show Me Love" on there and threw it up on Twitter. Obviously after we won the league, and you can see Van Dijk having a little boogie to show me love. So throw a bit out, and I don't honestly. It doesn't matter. Like the lads have just said, we're going to be watching Jordan Henderson and all the lads lifting that trophy one by one.
Yeah.
It's an afterthought that
Exactly.
listening to what fucking music's playing. Really,
Exactly.
I know what you do with you. Owen Burke says just play Tina Turner on repeat. I swear to God, Jordan Henderson lifting that trophy to Private Dancer would be just unreal, right? But
I do like that.
I think it'd be amazing. I tell you what you play it to. You play it to the Titanic song, because everybody puts out these goals and bits of games to Titanic music. Just stick it to the Titanic music, and then we won't have to endure people editing it to Titanic music. That's what we should do.
Do you know what I like? I like the Ghanaian funeral dancers.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
been the meme sensation of COVID 2020. And we flash that on the screen, all the boys' faces, and then we bust in as Hendo lifts the trophy. In fact, I'm going to request that in the pub when we're out tomorrow.
That's
Have to
amazing.
find the
Good
name
shout.
of it. Yeah, I'll have to find the name of it. So we don't give a shit what song is played. Once Hendo can shuffle in a good rhythm and all that, we don't really care. We're not going to really hear it in any way. Something to look back on with the kids, isn't it? But who cares at the end of the day? So before we finish up, lads, I want to get you a score predictions for tomorrow. So Mick, I'm going to come to you first. How do you think the game's going to go? If you have a prediction of the score and possible scorers.
Like we touched on, I think we'll go strong in midfield, strong overall. So Genie Keita or Milner, Keita and Fab in the midfield, bit of energy in there. I think the last couple of times I've done a prediction, I've done like 3-0, and it's just been we've conceded. So I'm gonna go 2-1 to the Reds. We're struggling to keep clean sheets at the moment. I fancy them to score probably. Now that I've said Giroud won't have a sniff against Van Dijk and Gomez, he'll probably bag off a corner or some shit. So he'll probably score. But I'll go. I want Mo to get another 2 because I want him to get as high as he can. To that I don't know how far is he off. 5 off the top now, is he, Mo? Yeah. He's quite far off, isn't he? But I'd like him to get 2, and then obviously going into Newcastle, if he can bag loads against them and get as high as he can, then that'll be great for me too for salary boss.
Nice. The only thing I'd say about Giroud is I think he'll be emasculated by the fact that he won't be the best looking man on the pitch, and he will in fact be getting marked by the best looking man on the pitch. So that might throw him off his game something rotten. Hopefully. Grizz, prediction.
I think we win 2-0. I think Bobby gets off the mark. It's been a fairy tale season. It's going to be a fairy tale ending for him. He's got to score. The man's got to score. 2-0, and him and Mo, because Mo likes a goal against former clubs, and he scored one of the most emotional goals for me last season, because I really thought that's we're going to win the league when he scored that second, because I was so nervous. It was 1-0 at the time, and then one of the greatest goals I've seen. Reminded me of the Robbie Fowler one against Aston Villa a few years ago. Very similar trajectory of the ball. But 2-0, Bobby and Mo. I think we keep a clean sheet. I think we nullify them. I think they've had a hard game this weekend. I think our energy levels will be optimum. I think Klopp will have them. I've changed my tune a bit, haven't I? I started off by saying I'm not sure we're going to be up for it after Klopp's conference, but
Yeah, I
the
think
chat
it
we've had,
smells of you covering all the bases.
yeah, the chat we've had today, the chat we've had last 45 minutes. I think you guys have got me really motivated, and so I think we're going to be really up for it now. So 2-0 and smash the ball.
Model for the 2-2 draw. Gav, do you think Chelsea are coming down with a bag of cans and just there for the Coldplay show, or what's the story? How do you see it going? Predict.
I don't know. We're a better side than Chelsea. It genuinely just depends on what Liverpool side turn up. I know it said it depends on what Chelsea side turn up earlier, but I think it's more dictated by what state of mind Liverpool are in. I genuinely believe there's something in the home record and keeping that intact, right? Whether that's a draw or a win. I think that's going to be a big thing. Also, it's nice to go up onto a podium to collect a trophy after you've won a game. Regardless of whether it's a null, it's a dead rubber and there's no one in the ground. It's still a nice feeling to be coming off a pitch winning and then going to collect your prize. 3-0 Liverpool. I think Liverpool taught Chelsea a lesson at Stamford Bridge earlier on the season, and the lesson they taught them was that no matter what way Chelsea tried to play us, we were able to be better than them. The FA Cup game I would pay no attention to because Adrian was on drugs of some sort, and we had a couple of players on that side that night that shouldn't be in it. And I think we have enough. I don't mind if Bobby Firmino doesn't score. I think it annoys opposition fans more than it upsets us.
Yeah.
So leave it as it is. That's the way I see it. I'd like to see Kate to get a goal. I think Mane will get a goal. And do you know what? I'm going to throw a fiver on Joe Gomez as well.
Why wouldn't you?
Do you know, it's good about the home record. Gav talks about the home record. I think we're tracing Chelsea's record of home unbeaten at home. I know Chelsea stretches crazy. Someone maybe in the chat will know it's an incredible. It's an incredible record. Yeah, but listen, hey, we're record breakers, aren't we? So
yeah,
that's something to sort of target going into next season as well. So we definitely don't want to be losing tomorrow, and I don't think there's a chance of us losing tomorrow.
Yeah, I agree. I think it'll be a convincing 4-0, but I get them wrong all the time. So
that's the lowest you've gone in months.
I know. I'm
That's
usually
the
6 and 7, but
stick it down for a 1-0 defeat, lads.
Yeah, it's a model.
Twitter's taking its toll on you. You're being influenced by.
I've been beaten, Grizz. I've been beaten.
You started off 8-0, 7-0, 6-0, 5-0, 4-0. You're going to be 2-all soon.
Yeah, against Newcastle last day of the season. So anyway, lads, we'll leave it there, right? We're gone over the hour. It's been a great show tonight. And before we do finish up, Mick, what's your plans tomorrow?
I'm gonna go and meet one of my mates and have a few bevies in one of the local pubs. I think I went out last week to watch the last game. Obviously before that I was kind of staying in and keeping my distance. But go out tomorrow and enjoy that. I've got Thursday off work, so I'm going to go for it. Like we've touched on there, I wasn't that excited before for the game, but obviously this chat we've just had.
We have that effect, Mick. We have that effect.
I feel up for it. So yeah, it's gonna be a good one. I just can't wait. Obviously, if we blow Chelsea away and then obviously lifting that trophy, it's a dream come true. 30 years in the making, and it's a dream come true. And it's no matter what the result, and obviously we want to win it, but it doesn't really matter. The main thing is Henderson lifting that trophy. It's gonna be amazing.
That's what it's all about, isn't it? It's being out and enjoying it with your mates. If you can't do it at the match, or people can't do it at the match, do it with your mates. Grizz, what do you plan?
Yeah, mate. Doing the same what we done when we won the title, but that wasn't pre-planned. We just went to the farm, going to the mate's farm.
Shed and watermelons.
Oh well, I'll show you the videos, and then you'll change your mind very quickly. It's not no shed like this. It's a proper farm. It's got what farms have, like animals.
Yeah. It's just you sitting around with a load of animals and watermelons.
But listen, there's no point in me talking about it. I'm going to show you videos and pictures and
Deadly
drone visions of it and sort of
drone visions.
but we've got images. So drone images. But yeah, we've planned it properly this time. We're camping out there 3 o'clock. If anybody wants to come down, I'll put the address in the link. And feel
That's
free to
it.
join
Drop the
us.
pin. Drop the
It's
pin.
for everyone. No, I'm serious. It's for everyone. Everyone come in. And
down to the farm.
Anyone there? Yeah. Come down. It's in Luton. I'll
Right.
drop the link. Yeah, it's going to be
And
fantastic. I've invited anyone and everyone.
Can't believe we're having this conversation.
Yeah.
Okay, and can you set up camp
You can't
there for
get
the night?
flights out. That's what I can tell you. You can't get flights.
Trust me, I'll get a fucking flight out there tomorrow if I needed to.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's going to be loads of food, loads of watermelons, mangoes, you name it.
Yeah, okay.
Good stuff. And Gavin, yourself?
I'm meeting Patrick of the Lawson clan in Dublin City Centre tomorrow for a few points, and then Sean Lawson, head of media and entertainment and a general good time at the LFC Daytrippers, has organised for us to meet up and watch the game together tomorrow night. And yeah, it's going to be good. It's ages since I've been in a pub. Genuinely ages. It's probably early March. Because of what's gone on with COVID. So I'm looking forward to it. Obviously, there's restrictions in place and they will all be followed. That's genuine. They will all be followed.
Yeah.
And just going to spend it with X amount of lads. I think you're included in that, Keith.
I am.
And yeah, watch Liverpool beat Chelsea, lift the title, and have a few beers to celebrate. Watermelon on the way home.
I was supposed to be there for this
shop,
one, wasn't I?
and,
That's the funny thing.
Yeah, you were.
It's a bit sad. I was supposed to be over there. We booked it and everything. But it's a shame, but no problem. We go again.
This
We
is
go
it.
again.
We'll
Many
do it
more
next
to
year.
come.
Doing next
Yeah,
year.
we go again.
Yeah.
Owen Buck says Shawnee be kicking boards out of his way all night. That's most nights, pal. Shawnee's a sensational looking man.
That's even going into the bills that he be doing that.
Listen, he's so good looking, and then you look at the shoulders on him and all. It's actually disgusting, isn't it? Shawnee did remind me earlier on to tell you that possible live Instagram updates from us tomorrow. So if you don't follow us, it won't be on YouTube, it won't be on Twitter. But if you don't follow us, go to Instagram, type in LFC Daytrippers, follow us there, and we're giving Shawnee control of the account tomorrow night. So
it will be well worth a follow, I think, on that.
Just
to
watch,
see the
just
madness.
to watch Shawnee.
Yeah.
Watch Shawnee eating a bowl of chips or something. I think it'd be amazing.
Dead wide, picturing himself with all those older characters to make himself look better. I like a style.
Just enjoy yourselves and stay safe. And all of you guys as well, Mick, congratulations, man. Gav, it's momentous. Tomorrow, just cherish it. These times are, so much bullshit on LFC Twitter at the moment, talking about all kinds of shit. But all we need to concentrate for now is this glorious, glorious team. And so all of you guys, man, we wish we could all be together, but wherever
it's
you
like
are,
Christmas, isn't it? It's like Christmas. Just everyone enjoy it. We've waited a long time to do this, and whatever ways they're going to celebrate, just make it the best you can, because we took it for granted for years when we were winning titles in the 80s and 70s, and we don't want to take this for granted. So celebrate it like it's the last title you'll ever win, and just go mad, but be safe, which I think is important as well. Good point, well made. So we'll leave it there. So Mick, thanks very much for joining us tonight. It's been a pleasure having you. Do you want to let the lads know where they can find you?
Yeah, so I'm on Twitter, M1CKLFC. Obviously, I also pretty much run the Kopite Twitter page as well. That's the Kopite off, which is short for the Kopite official, but we didn't have enough characters. So the Kopite off, or follow me, M1CK, which is Mick LFC.
Excellent stuff. Stuff. Top stuff.
Grizz, do you want to let people know where they can find you?
Yeah, in a farm in Luton. I'll have the address in the link below. Come and join us, man. I'm serious. Anyone local?
If you look at Grizz's bio on Twitter, you can get his email address for any inquiries as well.
Oh, don't! I've had some drama about the email. I'll talk to you about it afterwards.
Can't wait. Stop. Right.
And we'll leave it there, folks. We'll leave it there. Listen, thanks everyone for joining in. It's been a great chat. I've been Keith. The lads have been the lads. We've been the Daytrippers. Good night and God bless.